I'm Johnny Price with the Caleb Group here in Greenville, South Carolina, and welcome to this series on C.S. Lewis on heaven, where our purpose is simple but very significant, and that is to explore what we can know about the reality of heaven and life after death, and how the works of British author and scholar C.S. Lewis help illustrate and clarify these truths. Now, one of the first things that you need to know is that I am a follower of Jesus Christ, a Christian, and one who is convinced that the Bible is the authoritative Word of God. And so it's going to be from that perspective that I come. But more importantly, perhaps you need to know about C.S. Lewis, if you're not already familiar with him. Originally an atheist, he found that the truth of the existence of God was inescapable. He became a theist, and about 2 years later, largely under the influence of his close friend J.R.R. Tolkien, he became a Christian. Once he became a Christian, he became perhaps the most influential Christian apologist of the 20th century. His books are numerous, and 3 of the best known of his works are probably Mere Christianity, the Screwtape Letters, and then the 7-volume series for children and grown-ups, The Chronicles of Narnia. Now, Lewis grew up with a recurring sense of longing for something more satisfying than what he actually knew. It was a longing he was able to remember having and was able to identify all the way back to his childhood. And then, for want of a better word, he would label this unattained yet sometimes tasted experience joy. After he came to faith, he realized that he had been longing for heaven itself. Now, one of the ways that he expressed and explained this longing is found toward the end of his book, The Problem of Pain. And here's what he says. We are very shy nowadays of even mentioning heaven. We are afraid of the jeer about pie in the sky and of being told that we are trying to escape from the duty of making a happy world here and now into dreams of a happy world elsewhere. But either there is pie in the sky, or there is not. If there is not, then Christianity is false. For this doctrine is woven into its whole fabric. If there is, then this truth, like any other, must be faced, whether it is useful at political meetings or no. Again, we are afraid that heaven is a bribe, and that if we make it our goal, we shall no longer be disinterested. It is not so. Heaven offers nothing that a mercenary soul can desire. It is safe to tell the pure in heart that they shall see God, for only the pure in heart want to. There are rewards that do not sully motives. A man's love for a woman is not mercenary because he wants to marry her, nor his love for poetry mercenary because he wants to read it, nor his love of exercise less disinterested because he wants to run and leap and walk. Love, by definition, seeks to enjoy its object. You may think that there is another reason for our silence about heaven, namely, that we do not really desire it. But that may be an illusion. What I am going to say now is merely an opinion of my own without the slightest authority, which I submit to the judgment of better Christians and better scholars than myself. There have been times when I think we do not desire heaven. But more often, I find myself wondering whether, in our heart of hearts, we have ever desired anything else. You may have noticed that the books you really love are bound together by a secret thread. You know very well what that common quality is that makes you love them, but you cannot put it into words. But most of your friends do not see it at all, and wonder often why, liking this, you should also like that. Again, you have stood before some landscape which seems to embody what you have been looking for all your life, and then turn to the friend at your side who appears to be seeing what you saw, but at the first words a gulf yawns between you, and you realize that this landscape means something totally different to him, that he is pursuing an alien vision and cares nothing for the ineffable suggestion by which you are transported. Even in your hobbies, has there not always been some secret attraction which the others are curiously ignorant of? Something not to be identified with, but always on the verge of breaking through. The smell of cut wood in the workshop, or the clap of water against the boat's side. Are not all lifelong friendships born at the moment when at last you meet another who has some inkling, but faint and uncertain, even in the best, of that something you were born desiring, in which, beneath the flux of other desires and in all the momentary silences between the louder passions, day and night, year by year, from childhood to old age, you are looking for, watching for, listening for. You have never had it. All the things that have ever deeply possessed your soul have been but hints of it. Tantalizing glimpses, promises never quite fulfilled, echoes that died away just as they caught your ear. But if it should really become manifest, if there ever came an echo that did not die away, but swelled into the sound itself, you would know it. Beyond all possibility of doubt, you would say, "Here at last is the thing I was made for." We cannot tell each other about it. It is the secret signature of each soul, the incommunicable and unappeasable want. The thing we desired before we met our wives, or made our friends, or chose our work, and which we shall still desire on our deathbeds, when the mind no longer knows wife, or friend, or work. While we are, this is. If we lose this, we lose all.